All right. Were you able to get it up on the screen?
Yeah, I have it.
I'm saying electronically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this class, we're going into that 5th chapter for Serpent Power. And before we dive into it, I want to go over these points so that it's easier for you to understand the chapter. The chakra system is a series of the chakra system is levels of consciousness more than anything. In order to bring about that level of consciousness, you have a compaction of energies of Shakti power that makes up that vortex center called the chakra or psychic center. So in there's ways to tap into this. You tapping into it every minute, every second of the day. But we only use a very, very small percentage of this energy consciously. Most of the energy that's being used and functioning to function of the body is going on an unconscious level. So this is to try to give you a greater understanding of the flow of energy, this mental energy and vital energy that's flowing through the chakras. Now here I just mentioned key points. This is not all, because I can go and list probably 20 to 30 up to 50 modifications that goes on within the chakra system that in order to allow it to function. Let's see if we can concentrate on the first part of this. The chakra, vortex center of power. We know that. Most people describe it as that. A compaction of cosmic energies. Energy components of the chakras are the Bindu. You don't hear a lot about the Bindu out beyond this classroom or in most New Age type circles. When you lean more towards the Hindu or the Buddhist, you might hear more about it. But the Bindu is a spiritual germ originating from the all-knowledge space or the divine spark of God. And it is that point where life moves from and life goes back to, okay? So, you know, the Bindu is like that window, that door, that point of manifestation, okay? So every chakra you have a Bindu. Every chakra has a Bindu. And this Bindu, from this Bindu comes the para sound that we talk about, the soundless sound. And that soundless sound is that creative sound. So around the Bindu, you have this tremendous flow of nata, or let's say nata shati, this supreme subtle sound vibration. That's a creative sound vibration. And the nata is really just another aspect of shati, but it's that sound aspect of Shakti. Because you got to understand that everything in creation is a modification of Shakti. Everything. Okay, so this Nata Shakti flows from this Bindu point. Okay, but we break it up so that we can understand that. We talk about Nata being this soundless sound vibration, right? And we talk about Shakti being this absolute power, and the principles of Shakti as well. And the principles of Shakti is really like the great cosmic realms or operations of Shakti. So all of this arrives or comes from, when we talk about ourselves, from the chakra. Because remember, the chakras are realms of existence. The chakras are really vortex centers of power, but they're actually realms of existence. And this is how the soul taps into the universe. In other words, the creative universe. This is how the soul brings about many layers of manifestation. So the chakras is that focal point in order to control that energy. Okay. From this point, or the chakra, you also have the chitta, which is the mind substance, the universal mind substance. And you have the Tantric rays, which are the modes of motion that the Nata Shakti takes under karmic pressure. In other words, every thought and action that you have, right, is brought about within these Tantric rays, or by these Tantric rays, in a sense. And these Tantric rays flow from the sun, and they arrange themselves in order to build the realms of existence or levels of consciousness, in order to give you that karmic experience. So you have these Tantric rays that flow from the sun, and they take a shape and they move into motion according to the karmic pressure that's within that area, or life streams, or planet, or solar system, or galaxy. And that's how our worlds, whether they subtle worlds or gross worlds of existence, come about. And really, scientists have really come to that understanding too. They don't use the same terminology that we use, but they understand that everything is solidified light, and they also understand that the light being emitted from the sun is emitted from the sun by a subtle sound vibration. Okay. So as it is on a macro level, is the same on a micro level. So prana, cosmic prana, and the 5 major pranas that flows through the body, that flows from within the auric layers or auric fields of the body. The nadis is this thing that creates a matrix of flow of energy, a positive and negative flow of energy. Okay? Now, when the nadis go into the chakras, they intersect and create consciousness. By the intersection of these nadis, they bring about consciousness. Now, there's mind all around. There's mind all around us. This mind energy or chitta that we talked about is all around us. But how do we tap into this mind? How do we use this mind? How do we make this mind ours? And how do we continue to control this mind energy? And it's done through the chakras. It's done through us operating and creating the proper pathways through the chakras. Now, many, huh?
Creating or cleaning?
No, creating, and we're talking about the creation, what the soul is doing now. And in other words, we have this universal mind substance that's all around us. It's a sea of mind. And we and the soul have to bring about levels of consciousness, segments of consciousness. So what does it do? It creates the pathways, the Nadi pathways. And the Nadi pathways does what? It creates a flow of energy, mental energy and physical energy. Mental energy and vital energy. And it have these energies to intersect. And they intersect and create this elaborate matrix of Nadi pathways. And within those Nadi pathways are 108 intersections. That 108 intersections bring about different levels of consciousness. Because when they intersect, they create or allow mind to mold a vortex center of consciousness, to tap into the realms of consciousness known as the chakras. Okay? So that's what allow the soul to experience things on different levels of existence. Okay? Now this mind energy was said many hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. It was told to us that mind energy travels 4 million times the speed of light. It's very, very fast. Okay? And everybody know how fast the speed of light moves, right? Per second. Everybody know that? 186,000 miles per second. Okay? So mind moves 4 million times that speed. Okay? So that's the strength and the power of mind. Okay, now, but also you got to remember that mind is what? Mind, as we see it, right? And this is what I want you to understand, because most people don't get it. Mind is looked at as a negative energy, right? In the body. What is mind looked at outside of the body? Anybody know? It's positive. How about Shaktic power? Yeah. What is it outside the body? Huh?
Positive outside, negative inside.
Yes. The Shakti is a positive energy inside the body. Right? All of this is inside the body.
That's the first row.
Huh? The first row, yeah. And then outside the body, Shakti is negative. Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it be negative inside the body because it represents Ida?
No. How Shakti represents Ida? What is Ida? So it's negative, right?
Yeah.
And Pingala is what?
The vital.
Is positive. So Shakti inside the body it reverses. See, it's positive on the outside and negative on the inside. And mind is negative on the outside and positive on the outside.
Why is it reversed that way?
That's the way it works. That's the way it works. But when you look at the teachings, you'll notice that Shakti power is what? On the outside of the body.
The outside the body would have to be positive because it molds. It is the
Shakti power.
Shakti, yeah.
How? The universal Shakti power is what?
Oh, negative.
It's negative. Why? Because it's opposite to what?
It comes from the Shiva.
It comes from the Shiva, right? And then the creative force, because it takes on, Shakti is a female force, right? On the outside of the body, right? And it takes on a negative, a positive thing when it goes inside the body. But on the outside of the body is negative. Because why? Because Shiva is that creative positive energy, right? That creates, that gives the seed, and Shakti is that energy that preserves, that nurture that seed and bring it to life and preserve it throughout creation. Okay? So, but then when it comes to solidifying things on different realms of existence, right? The Shakti takes on a different role. It does what then? Right? It reverses. Okay? It reverses and becomes positive. Why does it reverse?
Because it becomes the creative force.
No,
It-
that's the background.
It becomes a creative force, right? And who controls the creative force within the body? The soul. So it becomes an instrument for the soul. So maybe that's the reason why it becomes the positive force. And then mind at that point, right? Mind is what happens to mind? It becomes what? Negative, right? Why does it become negative? As far as we can see. Why?
It preserves what the soul created using Shaktic.
It preserves what the soul created, right? Because if I was to take a hammer and hit you upside the head, what happens?
He loses consciousness.
You lose consciousness. So then what happens? That mind energy can operate in a negative state, right? Because you lose consciousness, the consciousness that you have, the mind energy that you have trapped in the body in order to form consciousness goes where? It leaves, it goes outside of the body. So these are the things that you should know in order to help you manipulate the energies of the body. Okay? So a lot of people miss this. They get it wrong, and they talk about weird things when really is so simple. Outside of the body, Shakti power is a what? A negative preservative energy, right? Chitta, which is the universal mind, is a what? Positive. And why is positive? Because mind does what to,
It creates a mold and shit.
okay. So it's just that simple, okay? It's just that simple. It reverses roles. When the soul takes this Shakti power and pushes this Shakti power down through Sushumna, right, in order to begin to form consciousness, when the Shakti power get to the base of the spine, what happens?
It involves itself.
It what?
Limitations placed on it, and it does a 3.5 knot configuration.
And what happens? What's the most important thing there? I tell it to you all the time. I know it's hard to retain. It reveals what? Shiva.
It goes back into that potential.
Yeah. And then the reverse happens. See? It reveals Shiva, and then the reverse happens. It reverses itself from this negative energy with the universal purpose to this positive energy, right? With a specific purpose. Okay? Can you understand that? Huh?
So it's constantly interplaying, like changing roles in order to be able to bring about manifestation and consciousness according to what's
On different levels of existence, according to the karmic pressure that's there.
That's why there's no real division between Shakti and Shiva.
Huh?
That's why there's no real division between Shakti and
No, it's not. Because Shiva is always there. Because Shiva is what?
endless potential.
Huh?
Endless potential.
It's endless potential. So what? It's the background of what? Of everything. All right? So that's what happens. Now, the Shakti, the soul molds the Shakti power into a stream of consciousness. But in order to get it to the point where it wants it, which is here, in order to form basic consciousness, it must reverse almost what we'll call the polarities. In other words, move it from a negative state to a positive state. And then it can begin to operate, because it moves its focus. The whole becomes not whole at that point. Okay? Its purpose is not to maintain the whole universe. It's to maintain the universe of this. This become a galactic system that it maintains. Okay? So when we begin to mold and shape and control the energy within the body, and we can move consciousness back and forth, we do what? We go to different levels of consciousness until we get to the point where we can go into what? Into meditation, then samadhi, then cosmic consciousness. What cosmic consciousness are we going into? Are we going into the cosmic consciousness of the planet, of the solar system, or of the universe? This planet. Because why? We're part of what? We're a life stream of the Mother Earth. So the system, the system within this is nothing but a cell or molecule within what? Within the Mother Earth. So our cosmic consciousness is the cosmic consciousness of the Mother Earth, which have given us life. Okay? So this is understanding this. It shapes and molds us to a point. Now, don't think that we're limited because the Mother Earth is totally aware of the galaxy, of the solar system, the galaxy, the universe. Because the Mother Earth is like a god. Okay, and the Mother Earth is connected to a greater god, which is the sun, which is Saturn. Also Saturn. Also the logos of this solar system. And connected to the logos of the galaxy, because it's a part of it. But as we move away from this earth, we will go through, we'll go to maybe another planet and connect to the cosmic being of that planet until we move on and on and on and take on different energies, different formation of energies. But it's understanding that it's all the energy. It's a life energy. Okay? Did I lose anyone? Okay. So, in order to begin to, another thing, I was leading up to this, the solar plexus center, not solar plexus, the Muladhara center, the base of the spine, consciousness is the formation of consciousness happened there. That's where the soul forms the consciousness. Our consciousness. Our specific consciousness to this body to create this system. All right? Then the next level, the sex chakra, the consciousness actually resides there. The basic consciousness actually resides at that level. Okay? The next level, which is the solar plexus center, that's the conjunction points for the subtle and gross energies to sustain consciousness. Okay? When you look at the functions of the energies in that area whether it's on a subtle level or a physical level, you'll notice that it sustains consciousness. Because why? Because the food you eat, right, does what? It feeds the body. The water you drink feeds the body. The air you breathe feeds the body. So, and when you look at the flow of apana and vyana and samanta and prana and udana, it all conjunction, that's the conjunction point for all those energies. You can find all the energies in the solar plexus center because it's a solar battery. All the energies must flow through there, okay? So, and it feeds the auric bodies, the subtle bodies, the etheric bodies, the astral bodies, okay? The next level is the seat of the soul, okay? When the soul forms itself, or when the soul is manifested, that's the region in where it resides, right? And from there, it extends itself everywhere else, okay? So, and the next level is the level, it's the manifestation and the expression point of the human physical existence. In order to allow consciousness to reside on a physical level, right? The energy, the consciousness that's actually formed, it must use the energy at this level in order to form a physical body, a gross physical body. And it must use the energy at the heart chakra in order to form subtle bodies, okay? So the subtle bodies are formed at the heart chakra, and the physical bodies are formed at the throat chakra, all right? And remember, the throat chakras is points of purification, all right? In other words, it's a point where, and the throat chakra, the heart chakra and the throat chakra are actually points of purification. The throat chakra being a greater point of purification than the heart chakra, but it's at that level, or that chakra level, that allows energy to move from one level to the next, from one realm to the next realm, okay, easily, without much complications. All right. So, and then the Christ center, or a lot of people call the third eye, that's the chakra which is the command center for all thoughts and actions. Okay, for all thoughts and actions. All right. So, the crown chakra is the manifested point of the soul. That's where the spirit, as far as we know, manifests the soul for this level of existence. Okay?
For existence on this planet?
Yeah, existence for this planet, yes. Might be for this solar system, we don't know. Okay, so and yeah.
Reaching the crown is our ascension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're pulling Kundalini all the way up to the manifested point of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the ascended body, does the soul move higher than that?
Well, this is the thing. Don't think about it as a space or a position. Okay, so that's what you have to understand.
Everything below that, we're tied to the Mother Earth, right?
Well,
Everything below that, like from the third eye down. But when you reach ascension, you're able to break
Well-
connections to the Earth and be able to incarnate in other planets and be desired, right?
well, everything was connected to the crown chakra. The crown chakra extended itself.
So
All
I'm
right.
saying it's the ultimate freedom. It's
Yeah.
you get to
Now,
prove
now the crown chakra, or the crown chakra, or the higher self, or the soul. The higher self is not the soul, but the soul is higher than the higher self. But there's a higher part of you that never left that position. So let's say if there's a realm that exists on this earth where all of us exist there. In pure soul, let's look at it like that. At the highest state of manifestation, a part of us live in that highest realm, untouched and existing right there. But there's the lower aspects of us is going through this journey for the last, I don't know how many millions of years, and until it purifies itself in order to merge back with its highest point of manifestation. And it can't happen until we purify the vehicle in which they gave us. They have to go back the way it came, but with the added value of experience of these lower realms of existence. Can you understand that? We went over this a couple of years ago when we did the class on soulmates. If you got those notes, go back to that.
And the aspects.
Yeah. So that's what happens. Now, let's see. So look at the chakras. All the chakras function perfectly. The energy, there's a subtle energy that flows in, there's a subtle energy that exit, go back and forth. And what happens is that we have this negative buildup of energy or contamination that comes from our own thoughts and actions. And we'll kind of go into this in the next class in a deeper fashion. But what this does, it clogs the pathways of the nadis. And you can imagine that these nadis extend from the solar plexus center and create these elaborate pathways intersecting through the chakras, through all 108 chakras in the body. And it creates this elaborate movement of vital energy and mental energy within the bodies. And then our thoughts and actions creates a distortion. Our negative thoughts and actions creates a distortion in the movement of this energy. And therefore, it creates a greater distortion in the intersection of these chakras, the 108 chakras within the body, which is points of consciousness for us to receive information and express information back out to the world. So we have this buildup of negative contaminated energy, and usually it's around the solar plexus center, the sex center, and the Muladhara, the base of the spine center. And these are the centers that have us to continue to go through a continual rebirth of this earth. So we have to purify these centers. And the only way we can purify these centers is by molding and shaping our actions, our thought and actions, right? And taking on a whole different lifestyle. All right, so this takes us back to the limbs of yoga, right? Which is what? The first three, I think is what, the first 3 or 4? Yama, niyama, and what? Asana, and what? Pranayama. All right? So, because that's the whole combination of what? Thoughts and actions, right? When you think about it. So, because what does that do? It begins to, yama controls our thoughts and actions, right? Now yama introduce a devotion for higher things, right? It have us to observe, to give observance to the Creator, right? And asana begins to mold how we interact with this sacred power from the sun and the Mother Earth and the great logis of their solar systems. Okay. So, and then pranayama teaches us how to respect this great life force within our body, because it teaches us to control it. It teaches us how to breathe, right? So all of that in combination helps to do what? It helps to purify the body, right? And from that comes the next thing, which is what? What's the 5th one? Yeah, pratyahara, right? Which is the withdrawal of the senses, which is really, we go into mantra, right? Which is the mystic side of the top 4 limbs, right? The top 4 limbs gave us the practical, almost hatha yoga type side of it and bhatha yoga side of it. And then when we get into the 5th limb, it gives us the Rajic side of it, which is the mystic side of it, which brings us to mantra, which is a huge purification of the nadis, right? Because from our studies, we know what? We know that that sound is what? Consciousness. So we tap right into the seeds of consciousness, okay? We tap right into the seeds of consciousness, because we are told that sound, and the correct sound can mold and shape energies into whatever we want. In fact, the mystics tell us that mantra, the power of mantra, is guaranteed. The power of mantra is guaranteed. When you can tap into that mantra power, is actually guaranteed. Because why? Because it's a way to activate the great flow of energy within the chakras and the nadis, right? And that's why when you constantly chant mantra and go deep, deep into mantra, what happens? You understand the flow of energy. And when you understand the flow of energy, you can tap into the sacred science of mudra yoga, okay? And because mantra reveals mudra yoga to you, okay? That's what mantra does. Mantra reveals mudra yoga to you. So in mudra yoga, you can control the flow of energies running through the chakras and the nadis, and that's how you can begin to control these energies. I want to go over one point before we move on, and that's there's three types of chakras. There's major chakras, there's minor chakras, and there's minute chakras. Okay. Almost everyone know the major chakras, what the major chakras are. The major chakras are along the spine, right? And they're in your hands. All right, those are the most popular major chakras. They're not the only major chakras, but they're the most popular major chakras. Okay, and so we know that those are three. Like I said, there's 108 chakras within the body. Okay, 108. There's chakras all through the arms, the fingers, the toes, the legs, the hips, the knees. There's chakras all around there. There's over a dozen chakras within the head. Maybe I think it might be 24 chakras within the head itself. So there's many that's known. Okay, there's there's 108 chakras within the body. Now, the nadis, you have three types of nadis. You have the Pingala nadi, which is a flow of positive energy within the body. And you have the Ida nadi, which is a negative flow of energy within the body. And you have the Sushumna nadi, which is a neutral flow of energy in the body, meaning that you have positive and negative energy traveling in one direction together, okay? The number of nadis is you have 242,000 nadi pathways, okay? Now, some people go so far to say that you have 700,000 nadi pathways, but what they do, they count the branches that extends from because you have 72,000 nadi pathways. Then from there, branch off into 242,000 nadi pathways. Some people say 236. And then there's another branch off, which is many, the little tiny, which is really an extended of the 242 that goes into 700. But I like to stick with the number of 242,000. Okay? And these nadi pathways exist on an etheric and subtle and astral level, okay?
Is the Sushumna nadi dormant?
No, why you say it's dormant? It's not dormant.
Is that not where, the prana nadi, is that where we move Kundalini back up?
The Sushumna nadi have 3 layers within it. The most inner layer of the Sushumna nadi is the Brahma nadi. All right, that's a lot of people like to describe that inner nadi as the all knowledge space, where the Bindu extends from, and where the real the Bindu of the chakra is the point of the chakra resides in that in that Brahmanati. All right? So if you want to look at it in any kind, it's not dormant.
Well, I was thinking that since the majority of Kundalini is dormant, and it's in that machine where Kundalini is moved, means you're not using it.
No, because remember, the soul is above consciousness. So therefore it's above the Shaktic power. It only used Shaktic power to mold consciousness. So the essence of the soul or the body of the spirit is there, which is the all knowledge space. Okay? So it's the force behind all force within the body. All right? But that's a sacred spot that they like to call the Brahmanati. All right? And the reason why it's layered is to protect that spot. And remember, the soul cannot be destroyed. You know, the soul can only be absorbed back into the spirit. You know, and the auric body is almost indestructible as well, which is the body of the soul. You know, only the soul can give the command to reshape that auric body. All right? I mean the original auric body, not the layers of the auric body. So everybody understand that?
Question online.
Yeah.
We are divinely connected. That's a statement. We are tasked to remove contaminants in our soul by purging, processing the lower non-divine bodies. Is this correct understanding?
Say that again. What?
You're tasked to remove contaminants in our soul by purging and processing the lower non-divine bodies. Is this correct understanding?
Yeah, in a sense. All the bodies are divine.
And there's no contaminants inside the soul.
Yeah, there's no contaminants inside the soul. What it is that as we are incarnated life after life, our thoughts and actions, our wrong thoughts and actions become the contaminants. If we go out and we hurt somebody, then we contaminate the auric fields of our body, which creates negative samskaras within the body. And those negative samskaras hang on until we correct that action. And these negative samskaras build up to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands of negative samskaras, which helps to mold and shape our character and bring about impurities within our character, bring about desire points within our character, have us to desire things that's not good for us. So what we have to do, we have to use various techniques, and one of the techniques given to us by Swami Patanjali is the 8 limbs of yoga, and which is the yama, niyama, controlling your thoughts and actions and observing and being devoted to God, and molding and shaping our movements, you know, and sitting in seats of power with the different lotuses and siddhasanas or whatever, and then practicing deep breathing in order to load the body up with vital energy, and chanting mantra in order to push out the contaminated thoughts. In other words, in order to recode the auric body. And that's what all those things do. It flush out the Nadi pathways and actually place it, you know, recode it in order to operate on a more efficient level. And that's what we're taught to do with all the yogas. If you look at any yoga system or any system of religion, it's teaching you to mold and shape your thoughts and actions. Why? Because that helped to actually purify your Nadi pathways and your auric body and your mental bodies, because your Nadi pathways make up the mental bodies. Is there any other questions? Okay, these are this is the trigger points for controlling subtle energies of the nadis and chakras. It's actually the hands. And within the hands, you have minor psychic centers. And within the hand, you have a major psychic center. And within the hands, you are connected. You can help to control the flow of energy within the 5 chakras along the spine, from the base of the spine up to the throat chakra. And this is done by a series of mudras. Okay? So you have the thumb is apana, and apana is where? Is in the base of the spine, right? The index finger is your pointing finger, which is the sex center, the sex chakra, and it controls water, and it controls the tavic pranic state of apas, which is the mahabhuta apas. And it controls the flow of energy of Vyana, which flows throughout the whole body. This flow of energy, it flows through the entire body. Then you have the middle finger, which is the finger of fire, which is the cosmic element or tavic pranic state of Tejas or Agni. And in the prana is called Samanta. This is the conjunction point of all energies within the body. And it controls by using mudras with this particular finger, you can control the flow of energy that flows through the solar plexus center. Okay? Then you have the ring finger, which is the finger of air, Vaya, and prana, which operates from the heart chakra. Then you have the little finger, which is ether, akasa, and udana, energy, which can help activate, control, restrict the throat chakra, the energy moving from the throat chakra, which is the energy that moves through the head, the arms, and the legs. Okay? So now, a lot of people get this wrong. I've seen a lot of books get this wrong. I have no answer for it. I don't.
Oh, the order of the elements?
Yeah.
You have it incorrect, that's fine.
They have it, yeah, and the order of the chakras too. Yeah, they get it wrong, and I have no answer for it. I don't know why they get it wrong. Okay, so it's been like this for thousands of years that I know of. It's written down and yet they still come out of a room. I guess because a lot of this information was secret for for hundreds of years, for thousands of years it was secret. And it was not given out to the public. But,
So people think guessing or just?
I guess they guess, or maybe they just got it wrong to begin with, you know. But it makes very good sense, and it follows the order. Okay, so. Uh-huh.
Is there a handedness related to the use of hands? I mean, the right hand corresponds to the right side of the body.
Is there what?
Is there a handedness related to the use of hands? She says, actually, to explain it, the meaning right hand to the right side of the body. I think the meaning is the right hand controls the body on the right side, left side.
I mean, that's a toss-up. A lot of people say the right hand controls the left hand, the left part of the brain, and the left hand controls the right part of the brain.
But when it comes to mudras, like if you do one mudra with one hand and the same mudra with the other hand has the same exact effect?
It depends on the mudra, because remember, there's an equal flow of energy flowing through each one of them. You have a major chakra there. What's the uniqueness of a major chakra?
How many times it intersects?
No. Well, that's true. But what's the flow of energy of a major chakra?
It could either go out or come in, right?
Huh?
It could either go
It's
out
like two
external.
vortex centers on either side, right?
It has a positive and negative flow of energy. It has an equal positive flow and an equal negative flow of energy. So one chakra is not, don't get caught up in a lot of this new age stuff. They say, well, this chakra is negative and this chakra is positive. No, it has both Ida and Pingala goes to the chakra. That's the only way you can create consciousness, by positive and negative flow. And we can see that in the physical world. The only way we can bring a human being into this world is by what? By positive and negative. We have to bring a male and female together. The only way we can actually control a flow of energy in a socket is by what? Positive, negative, right. And then a neutral force too, because you have to ground it. So that's the only way you can, that's the only way you can do it. So in the psychic center, you have a positive flow and a negative flow of energy that's flowing. So.
The Pingala must extend to the hands and to the feet as well.
Yeah, it does. It does, because they are connected to what? Each finger is connected to a chakra. So within that finger, you have a what? You have a positive and negative flow of energy. So that's, it depends on how well that person can develop the right hand versus the left hand, or the flow of energy that they move between the left hand and the right hand. We'll talk about the effects of that, because it's not a negative and positive. Okay, it's not a negative and positive.
But there is a predominant energy, like see the left and the right. I remember saying Ida was in the left hand and God on the right, and we pull in energy through the left hand.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, no. I never told you that. Not necessarily. Because you can pull, because that's like saying a left-hand person is more negative than a right-hand person. No, it's not necessarily so. Wherever you have a major chakra, there's a balance of energy. There's a balance. There's a balance of positive energy, negative energy, and neutral energy. Okay, so those are major centers of energy. The hands are, so you can express equally on any hand.
So like when we're doing spiritual healing, when we visualize energy coming out the right and going into the left, we can do that either way.
Yeah, you can. You can. Don't think that you can't. Okay, so. And it's the mindset that you're in that's why certain techniques are introduced in a certain way, because of the mindset of the people. But you can, you could pray with your feet, but who wants to see everybody big toes and little toes? You can you could do the same thing you're doing with your hands. You could do it with your feet, and the energy is just as good. So but it's where you are and what part of the world you're in, and and your own mindset. We could stop here and pick this up next week if you all want to. How long we been going now? Over an hour?
Well, this one kind of speaking without it, so it's not going to catch it. Okay, one more question. Wondering about reflexology and treatments and the use of mantras and mudras. I think the question is, in regards to reflexology and treatments, how is mantra and mudras used? I think that's what she's asking.
I haven't. I studied reflexology for a little bit, and I haven't seen too many techniques where they use mantra and mudras. They do use mudras, but they don't use the mudras fully. In other words, they don't. I thought I had it here. With the mudra, you have a Nadi component to the mudra. You have a Kama component to a mudra. You have a Bhati component to a mudra, and you have a pranayama component to the mudra and a visualization point to the mudra. Most flexology do not use the visualization and pranayama or the Bhati. They don't use that. So, but with a mudra, you introduce all those things into it in order to make it effective. So, but they don't do that. All right. And also with mudras, you introduce, of course, the nani of a mudra. That's where the mantra will come in with the mudra, where you use a mantra, because the nani would dictate where the mantra is used and how it's used with the mudra. But we can go into this next week and go deeper into it. It starts a whole new section, which would take probably another 30, 40 minutes to an hour. But do you get a good understanding or flow of what I'm talking about here?